Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Sarah and this is Vhagar. I wanted to give you guys another updated look on how her training is going. And today we're gonna do a bit of ground driving and hopefully give her a little ride. And she's been doing really good. It's been a week since her last update and we didn't get to do much in that time. I think we've had one session due to all the rain. But I wanna give you guys just another look at the realities of day-to-day training and go ahead and show you how she is doing. I already tacked her up off camera just so we could speed up the video a little bit and give you guys just more in-depth training and so you guys can just see how she's doing. But let's go ahead and get started. I've already got her tacked up in her regular bridle. I did add the driving reins and I secured her regular reins here just so they don't fall down her neck. And I have the driving reins going through the stirrups just to keep them level and up off the ground. But let's go ahead and get one more scratch and we're gonna go ahead and get started. So I just come around, I try to keep the reins even so she doesn't turn. And then I back up and ask her to walk on. So there we go. Yeah. So right now I'm just gonna focus on walking because our ground is still a little bit soft from all the rain. And April is raining season here in Texas, so we're trying not to get too frustrated with the rain because we know give it a month and we won't see rain for a good while. So we're just gonna go ahead and take advantage of it. But she's been doing pretty good driving. She's had 2 driving sessions off property and she did really well with those. And we're just focusing on using this to introduce her to new areas. Aside from hand walking in new areas, just letting her know just that she can still work prior to getting her ready for trail rides. And this has been a good way for me to see how she moves and how she feels without actually riding her. It's a way for me to essentially ride her without putting the weight on her back. She tends to take, so I showed you guys literally from the start, and just like most horses, especially young horses, she takes a minute or two to get her mind into the work. So just like us as people, they can be a little ADHD brain and easily distracted. So she takes a minute. Now you can see, now that we've been going a little bit more, she's a lot more free moving and willing to get focused. But this has been a nice way for me to see just how she carries herself. And I know someone's gonna comment, but before you do, if you notice she doesn't have any leg wraps on today, that is because I had to wash her legs prior to this to get the mud off. So she's got mud tracks from being out here, and since we're gonna keep it pretty low key today, I figured she'd be okay just walking around like this. I prefer her to have clean legs. She carries herself really nicely. We've been working a lot on getting her to relax. So that's the biggest thing in our sessions. That's what she struggled with in her last session. But you can kind of notice as we walk around here, she does not carry herself any longer like a typical Dutch harness horse. They tend to be a very high-headed breed. And I've been focusing a lot on rewarding her long stretches and relaxing. And that's done a lot to get her to not be so much of a giraffe. If she gets a little high-spirited or she sees something that might be a little scary, she does tend to default into giraffe mode. But she's been doing pretty good about not being such a giraffe. I'm trying to get her to maximize more of her space, because since she is turned out in this pasture, she's got her little pathways that she likes to walk, and just trying to get her to deviate from those as much as possible so she doesn't just go into like robot mode. So I'm gonna come around here. Yeah, I have her cross over here. We have been looking at her siblings, and her sire are really nice carriage horses and driving horses. And so we have been looking into that as a bit of cross training for her. So I enjoy, and I don't see anything wrong with cross training horses. I know some people like to have the horse specialize in one discipline and do nothing else. But I think for their mental health, I think they enjoy a little bit of diversity and a bit of a break from one thing or the other. So my jumping horse enjoyed doing barrels for fun, and I had other horses that, you know, they would just do trails as their cross training. So I think for her, driving will be her little bit of cross training. But she is going to be a bit ways before she is ready for a cart, because she's still gaining her confidence driving off property. But it's been fun to take her out and just get to go for a walk around the neighborhood and start working up to that. And I think it'll be good too when she starts trailering out and going different places to different arenas, and when she eventually starts showing. I think the experience she gets from driving will help her be more confident in new situations. In the last video, I mentioned we were going to do some trailer loading videos, and we haven't started working on those yet. But once we do, and once she is comfortable trailer loading, my biggest goal is to get her out to, there's a big trail system near us, and go out to the trail system and take her driving on the trail system. So that way she can experience new things and get exposed and get a little bit of exercise in a new environment. So I think that would be a really fun adventure to take you guys on, so you can see how she does on the trails and in a new scenario, and just see how the training reflects in the real world versus in a controlled environment. So she has been driving for a little bit. I'm going to do a little bit of another turn, and she should be warmed up now enough to do some light riding. Our goal is to keep it slow. We've been focusing more on turns, and I can show you her last ride. I started introducing a little bit more turning on the hind end and turning on the front end, so I can show you how I'm introducing that. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and hop on. She's trying to eat grass. Ooh. Lift your head up. There you go. She's been doing really good for mounting, and she likes to get a good little neck scratch right when I hop on. And so she's very into neck scratches, so we try to capitalize those as much as we can. So one thing I've experienced when I was retraining horses was a lot of horses never learn to stand still when you hop on them, and then they also never learn to be patient and stand still in between workouts. So giving her neck scratches is one of the ways I'm trying to encourage that behavior, because she waits for a good old scratch. And then we can relax it, get going. So, and she's gonna look at me like, can you do this a little bit more? But, so, she's a pretty good horse. I think, you know, the best horses always have their own little quirks, and I love that her quirk is that she likes being scratched so much. It's pretty cute to me. But I wanted to comment on as well. So in the last video, she was bucking quite a bit, and in the past with her, when she starts bucking like that, her saddle didn't fit the first time she bucked like that. And since we've been doing a lot of ground driving and working on getting her to build up her muscles and just build her up in general, because she was so skinny when we got her, I took the measuring tool for the wind tack and I measured her back, and she was over a full size wider than she was a month and a half ago when I measured her. So that's another good reminder for young horses and just horses in training in general to check your saddle frequently, because they do change. Well, I was talking to a saddle fitter, and after the last video when she was bucking so much, I wanted to reevaluate her saddle fit. And that's specifically why we bought an adjustable saddle, because I knew she was going to be growing a lot over the next couple years. And when I got the last saddle, I showed you guys in the video the measuring tool to measure her fit with the wind tack, and she was measuring medium narrow. And when I got the measuring tool out, because it had been a month and a half since that point, she was measuring medium, almost medium wide. So she has grown a lot in the last month and a half, being here, being fed better food, well, being fed in general, because she was so skinny when we got her, and then also the training. But it was a good reminder when I was talking to a saddle fitter that horses, she was saying horses, especially 3 and 4 year old horses, they will change their saddle size 5 to 8 times in a year. So they grow that much, and they go through so much change and development, especially when they're in training, that was just a good reminder that since she is younger, she's 3, that we just need to be on top of that. Because I mean, if it's 8 times a year, that's every couple months. So that was just a good reminder that if she's acting really out of sorts, because that was just not the normal for her, then we need to readjust and just check her tack again, because she is growing so much and she is putting on muscle and weight, and she looks like a completely different horse than she did, 4 months ago. Almost 5 months ago now. No, 4 months ago. But yeah, so it was a good reminder about just keeping on top of that. And she is a very sensitive horse, so she will definitely tell you if something is not up to snuff. So one of the things I've been working on with her, I just started introducing it the last ride, but her turns are not very sharp. She's a little delayed when we turn. So I've been working on at a standstill, just getting her to move her hindquarters just a step like that, and then I let her move forward. And I only ask her to do it a couple times. I really believe in just asking a horse to do something once or twice, no more than 3 times in a session, and then just taking the small wins. So she was able to do the little turn like I wanted there. And then I'll try, now that she is moving forward, I'll ask the other way. And there she moved her hind end just a hair. And so we'll move forward again. And so that's just something we've started introducing. It's very new. We only did it in a focus session the last time I rode her, and then again today. But we're just focusing on introducing her to new things slowly and keeping it really light and fun. So I want her to be a horse that enjoys working, and I think the key to that is to not work them super hard and find ways to keep it interesting and fun for them. So she is doing really good, and I'm very happy with her ride. So we'll give her some nice scratches, let her know she's a great pony, she did great work, and then we're just gonna call it for the day. So, oh, and I also have started trying to remind myself to go and scratch her hind end, because I think, there's some things that are just terrible, and I'm not a fan of when a horse has not been exposed to you patting their booty when you're on them, and then them just squealing away because you poked their butt. So she just gets booty scratches. But that's just a little bit more of an update of how Vhagar is doing driving and under saddle. It's still a work in progress, and we tend to keep things really light and just trying to find ways to have her enjoy the work. So whether that's scratches or exploring new things. So for some future videos, we're gonna be working on showing you guys how we're gonna teach her to trailer load. And then once she is good with trailer loading, we are going to start taking her on adventures. So we're really excited to show you guys and bring you guys along for the ride. And I'm looking forward to showing you guys all the fun things so you guys can get to know Vhagar more and see how she does in the future. So if you guys want to not miss out on any of the fun adventures, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below, and we'll see you guys again soon. Bye!